There's a man on your street mowing his own lawn in a faded shirt. His sedan is pushing 10 years old. At the grocery store, he pulls cereal coupons out of his wallet. Half the neighborhood feels a little sorry for him. They have it completely backward. That man holds more money than almost everyone else on the block combined. 3 doors down, there's a couple with a leased German luxury SUV in the driveway and a boat they take out maybe twice a summer. Everyone assumes they're the rich ones. They are one slow month from real trouble. One household is wealthy. The other only looks it, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to tell them apart. Start with the part nobody says out loud. The guy in the faded shirt is very often worth more than a surgeon with a spotless electric car and a mountain home in the hills. That sounds impossible until you separate 2 words that our culture treats as identical: income and wealth. Income is money flowing through your hands. Wealth is what stays behind and works for you while you sleep. A surgeon can run a torrent of income through his hands for 20 years and have almost nothing stay behind. Nothing about a big paycheck forces any of it to stick. So high earners split into 2 groups, and they do not look alike on paper at all. The first group is income statement affluent. Their money lives on the surface, the flow of cash in and cash out. They earn a great deal, and every dollar leaves just as fast as it arrives, off to the luxury lease, the mortgage, the credit card balance. Their entire financial life is a river, wide, fast, impressive to watch, and holding nothing. And notice what that group is actually paying for. The luxury lease is not ownership, it's a subscription to a car. The mortgage on the house they stretched for is a bill that arrives whether or not the income does. The credit card balance is last year's lifestyle billed to this year's paycheck. 3 commitments, all locked in, all of them assuming the money keeps arriving at exactly the same rate forever. That's why one slow month is enough to shake them. The second group is balance sheet affluent. Their wealth lives in assets and accounts, completely invisible from the curb. You can stand on the sidewalk and stare at their house for an hour and learn nothing. Here's what matters. That invisibility is not an accident. It is entirely intentional, and later I'll tell you what they're actually buying with it. Now let's kill the picture in your head, because when I say millionaire, you're probably imagining a gated community with a guard booth. In the United States, there are roughly 24 million millionaires. That's about 1 in 11 adults, so if you drive down a normal residential street, you are driving past them. More than half of them live in neighborhoods where the average household income is under $75,000. 6 in 10 live in homes valued under $500,000. They are not behind the gate. They're in the ranch house with a basketball hoop over the garage. And that placement is doing real work for them. A modest neighborhood sets a modest bar. Nobody on that street is upgrading a kitchen to keep pace with anyone. The pressure to match the driveway next door simply isn't there, so the gap stays open by default instead of closing a little every year. Move that same household into the gated community, and the surrounding spending would start pulling at it immediately. Why does that feel wrong? Because social media feeds you a warped version of reality. The loud minority is constantly visible. The spender posts the delivery day photo, the dashboard, the boarding pass. The saver posts nothing, because saving photographs like absolutely nothing. There is no image for a transfer that hit an index fund on a Tuesday morning, so the quiet majority goes completely unnoticed, and you conclude that wealth looks like consumption, when consumption is the one thing that eats wealth. Let me show you the mechanism with 2 neighbors. Same street, 25-year timeline, 7% average market return for both. Walter earns $85,000 a year. He saves 20% of it. That's $17,000 a year, moved quietly and automatically before he ever sees it. He does not think about it after the first month. 25 years later, Walter has $1,080,000. Denise earns $250,000 a year, nearly 3 times Walter's salary, but her lifestyle rose with every raise. Nicer cars, then a bigger house, then everything that comes attached to a bigger house. So she saves 5%. That's $12,500 a year. Denise finishes with $790,000. And notice she is not doing anything reckless. She saves every year. She never misses. She gets the same 7% Walter gets. On paper, she is a responsible person with an excellent income, and anyone driving past her house would tell you she won. She still ends up with less than 3/4 of what the man in the faded shirt has, and she earned nearly 3 times more to get there. Read that again. The woman earning 3 times as much still finishes with less than 3/4 of his total. The salary never built the wealth. The gap did. The gap between what comes in and what goes out is the only number in your financial life that actually matters, and it is the one number nobody asks about at a dinner party. Which means every luxury purchase costs vastly more than its sticker. Choosing a $70,000 luxury SUV over a $28,000 sensible sedan is not a monthly payment. It is a forfeiture of hundreds of thousands of dollars in compound interest that will now never exist because that money was spent being seen. If that lands uncomfortably for you, tell me in the comments which purchase in your own life was actually a payment for being seen. I'll read them. So how do you spot the quiet ones? There are 6 tells, and once you know them, you cannot unsee them. The first tell is the car, and it's the loudest signal there is. Most millionaires have never paid more than $30,000 for a car. The most common vehicle brand among the wealthy is Toyota. Not a luxury badge, a Toyota. They buy a sensible sedan, they pay it off, and then they drive it for 10 to 15 years, which is the part almost nobody does. The payoff isn't the finish line for them. It's the start of the free years. Every month after that loan ends is a month the car is quietly funding the brokerage account instead of draining it. The second tell is the wardrobe. They refuse to be walking billboards. The data is blunt. Half of them have never paid more than $235 for a watch, $400 for a suit, or $140 for shoes. That is not a person too cheap to enjoy nice things. That is a person who is comfortable being underestimated. Being underestimated costs them nothing and saves them everything. The third tell is the house. They intentionally buy houses smaller than they can afford, not the maximum the lender approved, smaller, because they understand what a mansion actually is. A mansion is a bigger property tax bill, a bigger insurance premium, and a bigger utility bill every single month forever. It's a permanent drag on wealth that never appears on the listing. The bank tells you what you can borrow. It never tells you what that number does to the next 30 years. The fourth tell is the receipt. Roughly 93% of millionaires use coupons, 93%, and they keep dining out under $200 a month strictly. Now, if you're picturing misery, you've misread them. They don't experience this as deprivation at all. They see a dollar saved as a worker sent into the market. That's the whole reframe. The dollar isn't lost to the restaurant, it's hired and sent to work, and it never asks for a raise or a day off. And the coupon habit tells you something about the house it came from. A person clipping a cereal coupon at a 9-figure grocery chain is not doing it for the 70 cents. He's doing it because he never stopped, and never stopping is the entire method. The habit that built the first $100,000 is the same habit still running at $2 million. Most people abandon the behavior the moment it works. He didn't. The fifth tell is the silence. They do not talk about money. They don't brag about their returns. They don't announce a purchase before or after they make it. So here's your practical rule for any room you walk into. The loudest person in the room about money is rarely the richest one in it. Usually it's the person nodding politely who owns the most. The sixth tell is the absence of debt, and it's the one you have to look hardest to see because it's a negative. No month-to-month credit card balance, no furniture payment plan. Very often, no mortgage at all. Think about what that means standing on the sidewalk. The flashy neighbors own things that actually belong to the bank. The quiet millionaire's assets belong entirely to him. 2 driveways, 2 cars, and one of them is a rental agreement wearing a costume. Now for the belief that keeps people from ever trying. The idea that these people started with money. They didn't. 79% of them received 0 inheritance. 89% are first-generation rich. They are not maintaining something handed down. They built it inside one lifetime, on ordinary streets. And look at the jobs. The top professions among millionaires are engineer, accountant, teacher, business and sales, and attorney. Teacher. Teachers outrank doctors on that list. Sit with that for a second, because it demolishes the excuse most people are using. If a teacher's salary produces more millionaires than a physician's salary, then the salary was never the variable. Consistency was. And their method is genuinely boring. Not private deals, not timing, standard workplace 401k accounts, the employer match taken in full, systematic contributions that continue through every headline, and a modest family home paid off. That's it. That's the machine. It's so unglamorous that it's invisible, which is exactly why it keeps working while everyone looks elsewhere. And the employer match is the part people skip past fastest. It is the only place in your financial life where a dollar becomes $2 the instant it lands, before the market has done anything at all. Leaving it unclaimed is a decision, even when nobody experiences it as one. The trap on the other side has a name: under-accumulators-of-wealth. These are high earners who never build anything, and the mechanism is simple. A large paycheck feels like wealth. It feels like arrival. So spending rises to match it, dollar for dollar, and the raise is spent before it clears. The lifestyle absorbs 100% of the income, and the gap closes to 0. They will make millions over a career and hold none of it. There's a way to check which one you are, and you can do it in about 10 seconds. Take your age, multiply it by your yearly pre-tax income, then divide by 10. That result is what your net worth should be. If you're 40 and you earn $100,000, that's $400,000. And the quiet millionaires, the true accumulators, aim to double that expected figure. Not match it, double it, run your own number right now, because the answer is either a compliment or a warning, and either way, you should know it. So the real question, why choose to look broke when you could easily look rich? Because it's a trade, and they've decided which side they want. When people buy the flashy logo or the status car, they are not buying transportation or a jacket. They're buying the perception of success from strangers. The quiet millionaire rejects that trade completely. He would rather own the money than rent the admiration. And rent is the right word, because admiration expires. It requires the next payment, the next upgrade, the next thing to be seen with. What his frugality buys instead is a freedom fund, a stockpile that buys him out of the anxiety of ordinary life. He isn't accumulating things, he's accumulating options, better sleep, the specific peace of knowing that one financial emergency, one toxic boss, one layoff cannot ruin him, which reframes the whole picture on that street. The faded shirt isn't a sign that he can't afford better. It's the receipt for the thing he bought instead. And here's what almost nobody realizes about the man with the 10-year-old sedan. He can walk away from any job, any client, any room he doesn't want to be in, on any given Tuesday. The couple with the boat cannot walk away from anything. They just look like they can.